right, y'all. Here I am today, and we are getting ready to start a new little math unit, and we're going to learn some new stuff. So I got this PowerPoint from TPT from this wonderful lady who had selling her lessons. Today we are talking about parentheses, brackets, and braces. Now, when you think about these pictures that you see here, we think about parentheses when we're writing, right? These things also go in writing, but we're also going to use them in math. And today you're going to learn how. Now, you will notice there was not a study book page for this lesson today. That means, friends, that what I want you to do is just pull out your study book, open to a blank page, and anytime you need to, take some notes as I'm writing. And then you can use that notebook to answer the questions that I have you doing independently after you learn how to do this. All right? Okay, so here, let's get started. So, for learning to happen, this is a good slide, especially because you're just listening to me in a video. You're not actually seeing me. For you to actually understand what I'm teaching you, you've got to listen, you've got to watch, you've got to think critically. That means you've got to engage your mind and be thinking what's going on in that head of yours. And you've got to engage, all right? You've actually got to engage in what I'm teaching. Okay, so the objective of this is to know when to use parentheses, brackets, and braces in math expressions. So the vocabulary question that we need to know today is, what is an expression? An expression is a group of numbers and symbols that express an operation or a series of operations. So operations: add, subtract, multiply, divide. So you might have something like n plus 8. You might have r minus 3. The next word is to evaluate. Evaluate is we combine like terms and complete all the operations so you can express the expression in simplest form. So 2 times 2 plus 8. Now, you know these. I call them out. You would do 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 8 is 12, right? You would evaluate all of the different signs in this equation. All right. So again, like I said, all right, so let's look at this a little bit differently. You might be going, Miss Foster, I have never seen symbols like this in a math equation. Well, that's because this is brand new to you guys, right? So the whole purpose of parentheses, brackets, and braces is telling you what to do first. All right, I'm going to say that one more time. The whole point of parentheses, brackets, and braces is to tell you what operation to complete first. So look up at the top of the screen here. Parentheses are the curved little lines, right? Like this one, these red right here. Brackets are the squared off ones. They're in this equation here. And they're here as well. And then finally, braces are the little curve, little sticky line thingies right here, all right? So we're always going to do parentheses first, then what's inside the brackets, then the braces. Okay, so I know you're confused, but we're going to break it down, okay? The parentheses are in the middle and are completed first. The brackets, the square brackets, are often used to group numbers when parentheses are used for a smaller group inside the brackets. And the braces are used around the parentheses and brackets when they are all part of a larger group. So basically, we're going to do what's inside the parentheses, then the brackets, and then finally the braces. So notice how what I do first is in the middle. What I do last is all the way on the outside. So we're just going to break it down with just parentheses first. So the enclosing symbols, which indicate that the terms within are considered as one unit. So basically, I need to do what is inside the parentheses first. So ask yourself, what is inside the parentheses? 4 plus 3. Oh, I know that. It is what? 7. And then 7 plus 9 equals 16. All right, let's try another one. The numbers with parentheses, oh, sorry, friends, with parentheses around them are counted as one number. So I've got to do this first. 4 plus 5 equals 9. 9 plus 9 equals 18. 18 plus 3 equals 21, right? So 4 plus 5 plus 9 equals plus 3. Now, therefore, the operations inside the parentheses must be done first. So let's look at this one. 6 times 3 times parentheses 8 times 4. So I need to do that 8 times 4 first, right? Now, I'm going to give you a minute for you to try these, right? So remember, I'm going to do what's inside the parentheses first. What's inside these parentheses? 4 plus 1. Then when you're done with that, do times 3. And you get 15. For this one, I'm going to do what's inside the parentheses first. 8 plus 7 is 15. And then I subtract 4. And you get 11. Always ask yourself what's inside the parentheses first. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. Then I take my 15 and I divide by 3, and I would have gotten 5. And then lastly, 7 times parentheses 8 divided by 2. What's 8 divided by 2 is 4. 7 times 4 is 28. Not so bad, huh? All right, so now we add in the next part, the brackets. Remember, parentheses are the curved, and they go first. Brackets are the squares. They're going to go second. So, parentheses and brackets. The rule says to do all parentheses first. Sometimes you will find a set of parentheses inside brackets. Then you do the parentheses first and then everything within the brackets and then everything else. So, look at a problem like this one. Notice how the parentheses, the blue lines, are inside the pink brackets. So what am I going to do first? The parentheses, right? I'm going to do the parentheses first, and then secondly, I will do what's inside the brackets. And then last, I will do whatever is not in the parentheses and brackets. All right? So that's how we evaluate this. Now, friends, you don't have to be a math superhero and do this all in your head. Write it down like you're seeing on this slide, okay? It's not going to make you do it all in your head. Okay, so first thing I ask myself is where are the parentheses? That is 3 times 3, which is what? 9. So notice how the whole problem has been rewritten with the brackets to replace 3 times 3 as 9, right? Then I get to do what's inside the brackets, right? So notice as I'm doing this, my equation got a little bit smaller, didn't it? So 45 minus 9 is 36. So notice the 36 replaced the brackets, and 45 minus 9 divided by 2. And you might have to do your long division over here if you need to. But 36 divided by 2 is 18. All right. A little tricky, but I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to get a few seconds to get a head start on this one. Try it. Parentheses, brackets, and then the division. Okay, if you're not done, you can pause me. Always start with the parentheses first, right? So I'm going to say the parentheses 2 times 6 is 12. Notice again that it replaced the 2 times 6 with the 12. Then I'm left with the brackets. 56 plus 12 is going to be 68 divided by 2. What's left? And then you probably would have to write that out and figure out that answer to be 34. Okay? All right. Try this one. Pause me, and when you're ready, you can hit play again so you can check your answer. Okay, the parentheses first are going to be 8 minus 3, which is going to replace it as 5. 4 times 5 is 20 divided by 4. This one was easy, 5. Not too bad. Oh, but now it's time for a super duper long one. Now we're going to do parentheses, brackets, and braces, right? So notice this time I have the curve of the parentheses that I'm going to do first, the brackets that I just learned that are second, and the braces last, okay? So the rule says to do all parentheses first, then do everything inside the brackets. Then you do everything within the braces and then everything else. So this one doesn't quite have an everything else. First parentheses, second brackets, third braces. So notice if there was something else over here for you to do, you would do that fourth. Like if it had like a +1 or something over here, you would do that last. Okay, so let's evaluate this one, right? So 3 times 3, again, like we said, is 9. 45 minus 9 is what? 36 divided by 2 is 18. So that's the same one we did, except for now it had the braces at the end, right? So now try this one. Take a head start, parentheses, brackets, and then the braces. When you're ready, hit pause, and when you're ready, hit play so that you can hear the answer. First up, I need to do 9 divided by 3 is 3. So notice how it rewrote the entire problem and replaced the parentheses answer right underneath it. Next up is what's inside the brackets. 13 plus 3 is 16, times 2. And you probably had to write that on its side to get 32. Okay, one more for you guys to do. Try this one for me. Pause. Hit play when you are ready. All right, parentheses first. 9 minus 2 is 7, right? So it replaced it right underneath it. Notice the parentheses didn't have to come down, but the braces did because I haven't completed them, right? 8 plus 7 is 15, and 3 times 15 is 45. Okay, so friends, this is the end of this video. So here are the things that you need to do. Now that you've watched it, go back into the Dojo portfolio and click saying that you've watched it. You have a worksheet to complete, lesson 7.2. You're going to send me a picture of that worksheet. You can either send it to me in Dojo portfolio, or when you can send it to me in Dojo portfolio when you have said you've watched the video, or you can get your parent to send it to me in their parent messages. Now, friends, or finally, you could text it to me. You have my number at the top of your plan page. I will correct it, friends. I want you to do it as independently as you can. And I'll correct it. I will mark it back and send it back to you for you to make corrections and figure out. Make sure you send your picture to me by 8 o'clock tonight. All right, friends, happy working. If you're confused, let me know.